And hello again, everyone. Welcome into this week's edition of Jacket Vision, our weekly look inside Oxford Yellow Jacket football. Last Friday night, the Jackets kept rolling with a 29-21 victory over Benjamin Russell at Lamar Field. A huge win for Oxford as they improved to 6-0 on the season. Joined now by head coach Ryan Herring. And Coach, this was a big win for you. It wasn't a region game. However, it used to be a region game, but this was a big test for your team. We talked about it a lot last week. This is a very well-established program under Danny Horn. They've got big, typical top-end 6A type of athletes, especially on defense. So I know you got to be happy that your team got this win.
It was a huge win, and it wasn't a region game, but we treated it like it was a region game. We didn't go about it any different. We went into the game wanting to win the game, and willing to use all resources to get a W, and we did. We came out with a win, and just very proud of the coaches and players.
You mentioned that you were going to treat this and kind of look at this like a playoff game in terms of that this is the types of teams that you'll meet in the postseason. Pass the test.
Yeah, we did. The big thing was no turnovers. We knew we didn't need to throw interceptions. We didn't need to fumble the ball. We got a kickoff return call back that could have been a difference in the game a little earlier. But I was very, very proud of the kids, and I thought they showed up and played well and played with a lot of class.
You may not have had any turnovers, but you caused a big one. Brody Sire had a pick six in the game.
Probably the biggest play in the game for us was Brody Sire getting that ball and taking it all the way back. It was big to get the interception, but then to go and score with it, that was huge. I can't say enough about that play. We talked about it yesterday. And, that play was huge.
It's always fun to watch teams progress week after week because you never really know what you got till you play under the lights. You got your 6 games in now, and you knew what you were going to have on defense for the most part. But you've really developed an offensive identity. It is remarkable how you're running the football. I mean, you got your sophomore running back, Titus Lindsay, who's, I think, 3 straight 200-plus yard games. And you got to give credit to those big guys up front because you couldn't be doing that if your offensive line wasn't playing well.
That's right. It all starts up front and on both sides of the ball, but it starts up front, and those guys are doing a great job. We hadn't had an offensive line identity in the last 3 years, and that was the biggest thing I wanted us to change this year was to hang our hat on offensive line play, coming off the ball, being physical, and I can't say enough about those guys. We got 4 seniors up there. Connor Sire's a senior. Brett Houston's a senior, Drew Gorton is a senior, Josh Thomas is a senior. And having 4 seniors out of 6 makes a difference too. But they're good kids. They work hard. Every day we come out, we work. That's a huge difference between this year and the last 3 years.
And your quarterback, Abe Peoples, just a sophomore. He really seems to be managing the game well for you. With you're able to run the ball the way you are, you don't throw a lot, but you throw enough, I guess, to keep them off balance and keep them from stacking the box. And he seems to be very efficient with the receivers you've got.
The big thing is I don't care about attempts. I'm big on completions and touchdowns when we throw the ball. And if we only throw the ball 8 times, but we throw 2 touchdowns and we complete 6 of them, I like that a lot more than going 10 for 24, with 1 touchdown. It's not about how much you throw, it's how well you throw. And right now I think we're throwing the ball well.
All right, we've got all the highlights coming up. Oxford and Benjamin Russell. Stay with us as we continue here on Jacket Vision. And welcome back to Jacket Vision. I want to remind you that if you'd like to support the Oxford City Schools, you can do so by simply choosing where you get your next fill up. If you'll go by the Samco convenience store at the corner of Caffey Drive and Highway 78, right there in the heart of Oxford, Samco will donate 1 cent per gallon to Oxford City Schools Education Foundation. Get pumped with Samco. And Coach, I'm pumped about these highlights. This was a great atmosphere at Lamar Field. Great team coming into town and big test for your team. We pick up highlights in the first quarter.
Unbelievable first drive. I mean, one of the prettiest and smoothest and quickest first drives I've ever been associated with, especially playing against a good opponent. And, I think it maybe was 6 plays and 6 plays you're in the end zone against a Danny Horn defense. That's impressive. So my hat's off to our players. Just sitting there running the ball. Titus Lindsay running the ball. Just almost I was almost in all of our offense right there. Just a great job. They get the ball right here. We don't do a good job of setting the edge. Our outside backers and strong safeties, we've got to do a better job of setting the edge. They get around us again right there. They got a good running back now. Number 3 was a good running back. But we made it a little too easy for them right there. They're getting a wishbone right there, which Danny Horn's always done that a little bit. And that guy's running the ball hard. We got to lock up. We hit him pretty good. We just didn't lock up well. Good hustle right there by Jack Peavy. They go unbalanced, a 4x2 line, and just sit there and kind of just pound it, and get in the end zone right there. And so I was pretty worried at that point. Here they are back on offense, getting around the edge again. But great job by Jordan Swain. We've been waiting on Jordan Swain to come up and be a real force player on defense, and he did right there. Real proud of him. Right here over the middle, this has been a thorn in our side all season. People just throwing over the middle. We've still got to get better. We've got to get a safety that's breaking on the ball and either making a good tackle or breaking the pass up. And there's Jordan Swain again with a good tackle right there. So that's 2 good licks on one drive by Jordan. They run a little counter right there out of wishbone. We don't do a good job of squeezing, spilling it with a defensive tackle. And here they go again, just pounding the end zone. So, right now we're a little bit worried. Great job right here. Well, this may not be the one. We blocked one here in a second, though, which was a huge play. Tall sweep right here to Titus. Something was a little funny with getting the snap, but anyway, Abe was able to get it off. Run again right here. Titus hitting the hole, runs over one of his own linemen. We told our lineman on Sunday, hey, you better get out of the way or Titus, that friendly fire may get you. Good job right here catching the ball by Jacoby McClendon. Right here, go empty, trying to hit something, and it just wasn't there. And Abe does a good job of just getting a couple of yards and not throwing an interception. Go for a field goal right here. Really thought we would hit it, and Bo really just kind of pulled it a little bit. But he comes back later on and hits one.
All right, there you see the halftime score. Ben Russell with a 13-6 lead. That lead wouldn't last long, as we'll see when we get to second half highlights in just a couple of moments. But Coach, again, a great start, great opening drive. Was that a scripted drive, or was it?
Yeah, that kind of was a scripted drive. We'd worked on about a 10-play script all week, and that was about 6 of them. But it was just, didn't have to improvise at all. It was straight, call the play, run it, and the kids just did an unbelievable job. And we thought they'd be in a 50 defense, and they came out and played in it. And after that drive, they got out of it and they started junking it up. Then we had to adjust to that. But everything worked about as good as you could plan it.
Obviously, you outscore them a good bit in the second half. They don't score much more in the second half. So any defensive adjustments at halftime that enabled you to hold them a little bit better in the second half?
Well, we didn't play the wishbone well starting out, and we made some little adjustments, little tweaks. And then, just setting the edge on the outside runs. We've got to have some in-run force, and we didn't have it. And I think, we talked about that and said we got to get it done. And the defense coaches met with those guys, and I think we got better on it. We still didn't do it perfect, but we got better on it. And I think that made a big difference.
All right, we've got second half highlights coming up. But as we go to break, listen in to the sound of champions from Friday night, the Oxford High School Marching Band. And we're back on Jacket Vision. Oxford trailing 13-6. Be a big second half for the Yellow Jackets. Coach, they've got the ball to get things started.
Yeah, they throw double slants right there again, and it goes right through Kendall McCollum's hand. And then right here, it doesn't go through Brody Sires' hand. He almost falls down, makes a couple of guys miss, and just does a great job of taking this thing all the way back. Interceptions, to me, is the most important stat in football, and especially an interception return for a touchdown. That was the game changer in a nutshell right there.
You look real smart moving him to defense now.
Oh, I'm telling you. I've been waiting on somebody to congratulate me, so I appreciate you doing that. So we claimed some momentum right there, and of course, we got to tackle 3. He doesn't go down. You can't arm tackle him. You can't just butt him. You got to bring your face, your feet, and your hands. Right here, quarterback keeps it. Brody's tired right here. That should have been his guy. I think he's just worn out from the interception return. We finally get the ball back. Here we are right here. Titus run the ball well again. Just can't say enough about him and the O-line. Great job right here getting a little quick out to Jacoby. And then yards after the catch was huge right there. Great job by Abe getting it to him. Here we are, a little belly play, and Titus finds a seam in there, gets about 8 yards. We kind of get bogged down. We had 4th and 1. I just wanted to go ahead and get 3 on the board right there just to be safe, and we did. Great job by Bo Relly. Good job right here by Matthew Muncher. Man, he is playing smart and playing hard, doing a great job for us. Coming a little pressure off the edge right there on 3rd down and get them in the backfield, so they've got to punt it again. Here we are with another little old Georgia toss right there, and Titus just does a great job making people miss. 21 can't tackle him right there, and then he can't tackle him right there again. So he makes the same guy miss twice in one place. You know,
Still never got
that
him.
guy had to be aggravated. Here we are. Abe does a good job right here checking off. We had toss call the other side. Abe saw they were overshifted, and that's something that Abe's getting better at. It's going to really be able to help us on is checking plays at the line of scrimmage. Here he is right here with a bootleg down the 1-yard line. And then we hand it to Titus, and he just jumps in and makes it look easy. Great job by the offensive line, though. Here they are, jet sweep coming. I thought we had it contained, and Asante kind of went inside his block, so they get around the edge again. They come with a play action right here off of it, and we just got to find receivers. We don't do a good job right there finding people when we're dropping. Here we are late in the game. We've been running pounding and pounding. All of a sudden, we hit play action right here, and we saw that safety coming up, and I said, hey, it's time to throw it over the top. And it was like he got dropped out of the sky. He was wide open. That was fun to watch. Late in the game right here, we're a little too worried about passing and not playing technique with the defensive end. We don't squeeze and give them a cutback lane. Here we are. We got a guy on him. We just don't do a good job man coverage of pressing the guy, and he makes a great one-handed catch. Here we are, bootleg. We knew bootleg was coming, and Brody played it and just didn't make the tackle right there. I think he's still tired from the interception return, though. That's what I'm going to say. Onside kick right here. Janito Allen does a great job of catching that, and we just kind of run the ball right here and milk the clock and just run the game out. And great job by Titus of just getting yards and protecting the football. And, victory right there, victory. And we just get the W right there, and it was huge. Just a huge win for our boys.
29-21, final score. Oxford improves to 6-0 with a big win over Benjamin Russell. And, Coach, we'll get to the player awards in a moment, but just got to say here, the confidence has to just really be building for your players. 6 wins in a row now, getting past Benjamin Russell team that has been tough for you the last couple of years when they were in your region. So talk about the confidence that seems to be developing with you guys right now.
Well, it is. It's growing. When you win, you get confidence anyway. But we got beaten the last 2 years by Gadsden City, pretty good. We got beaten by Benjamin Russell pretty good last 2 years. And those are 2 games that I'm so glad our seniors got to feel the victory and taste that. Because, you can talk about it, but when you go out there and do it, it's different. And they went out there on the field and did it. And, I'm just proud of our players, proud of our coaches. They're working hard. I'm proud of the character that they're showing out there and how they play. And so I'm just feel blessed and I'm just happy to be a part of what's going on right now.
All right, let's take a look at the individual player awards now from the Benjamin Russell game.
Air Jacket this week, we got Jacoby McClendon had that big touchdown catch on play action. Racehorse, I think that's pretty evident. Titus Lindsay again. Highest grade defensive line, Matthew Muncher. He's won that several weeks. He's doing a great job for us. Brett Houston, he's won that a couple times this year, doing a great job for us. Special teams, Desmond Cooley had the field goal block, the extra point block that was huge. Most hits, we had a tie this week. Kenny Britt and Jordan Swain both had 11 tackles. Meanest Jacket, Jack Peavy, my gosh, he is blocking his tail off and doing a great job of it and wearing a lot of hats for us. He punts, he plays some defense. Game breaker, Brody Sire, everybody that was at the game could see that award goes to him. Takeaway, Brody Sire, interception return for a touchdown. Hammer Award, Kenny Britt had some great licks out there Friday night. And then Pride Award, Garrett Davenport gave us a great look all week and jumps in on special teams and helps us in spots. So real proud of Garrett again this week.
All right. Congratulations to the players for the individual awards for this week. Well, back to region play this Friday night. A huge game on the road at Southside. When we come back, we'll talk with Coach Herring about that as well as have our player spotlight as we continue on Jacket Vision. And back on Jacket Vision, time now for this week's Player Spotlight. It falls on one of Oxford's outstanding wide receivers, senior Hareem Averett. Here's Chase Robinson.
For senior wide receiver Hareem Averett, having played football his entire life and having a love for the game, playing football for Oxford has been a dream come true.
For one, I love football, man. Since I was young, all I knew was playing football. That's all I grew up doing, playing football. So it's just a pleasure playing football for Oxford. I love Oxford, man.
Averett in his senior year has been one of the main receivers that quarterback Abe Peoples throws to, and over time, Averett has learned his job on and off the field.
As a receiver, I just go out and attack the ball. That's my job. My quarterback throw the ball in there, and I just go attack it. I mean, weight room-wise, we got to stay in the weights. Can't lack on weights. School-wise, we got to stay focused in school all the time. Schoolwork is just as important as on the field.
For Jacket Vision, I'm Chase Robinson.
And Coach Hareem, again, a senior for you, kind of a tall, big target. You got him and Jacoby McClendon over 6 feet. That is good to have at that wide receiver spot.
Well, it's nice to have. He's about 6'4", and you got Jacoby who's 6'2" or more. So that looks good out there. That's window dressing at the very least. So they got to get out there and guard somebody. But he's done a great job. He has grown up so much compared to when we first had him. He's so much more mature now. He's a hard worker. He tries to be a leader. He's come a million miles, and he's one of those guys that you're glad you didn't give up on, because he's turned out to be a real positive impact on our team.
All right, time to look ahead to this week's matchup back into region play. And speaking of region play, let's update the 6A Region 7 standings. And there you see Oxford in first place with a 3-0 region record, 6-0 overall. Pell City has yet to lose a region game. They've played 2 region games. They're 2-0. Then Albertville and Southside, this Friday night's opponent. Let's go ahead and take a look at that matchup. Oxford travels to Barney Hood Stadium to take on the Southside Panthers. This is always a big rival game. Now it is a region game. And Coach, they're an interesting team. They've had some injuries early in the season. Obviously, the big injury to running back Alaric Williams, they expect to have him back, or that's what we're hearing for this week's game. So I'm sure you're planning on preparing for him as though he will be playing. But talk about the matchup with Southside.
Well, we got word that he got cleared to play last week, late in the week, so we expect him to play this week. They've got another running back who probably is faster than him and has looked great on film, so they're going to have both of those guys run the ball. They've got a fullback, big strong kid who's hard to bring down. The quarterback can throw this year. The last 2 years they hadn't really had a threat throwing the ball, so they run a lot of wing stuff. It's going to be a game where we've got to really be key based and be where we're supposed to be and see pullers and all that. Because if you miss a line or you're not where you're supposed to be when you're facing wing T stuff, they can outnumber you quick on the counters and misdirection. So I think it's going to be a challenge.
And you have to travel to their place. Always a tough place to play when you go to Southside.
Yeah, we went over there 2 years ago. I think the penalties at one time we had 19 penalties, they had 1. So that's just what you're going to get when you go over there, and we got to know that going into the game, that we got to be 14 points better or we're not going to win the game. And we can't worry about the officiating, but we just got to know that we got to play well, play clean, and we got to put the ball in the end zone.
You mentioned some of their strengths on offense. What about their defense? Do you think you'll be able to run the ball on them?
Well, I hope so. We've ran the ball on everybody this year, so I'm sure they're going to stack the box. So we're going to have to hit play action. We're going to have to throw the ball and get the ball in the end zone some through the air. But, I feel like we can run the ball on about anybody. We just, have to mix it up. And when they're playing, when they're cheating a little bit and got one extra guy in the box, we've got to hit them over the top.
All right, should be a big matchup Friday night at Southside. A huge region game for Oxford as the Yellow Jackets travel to take on the Southside Panthers. We'll be back with you again next week for all the highlights here on Jacket Vision.